Hey guys, on this episode, I'm going to take you to the next step in bass guitar playing. I'm going to start teaching you the notes on the fretboard. That's all in this episode. Let's get to it. Hey friends, so welcome back to Everything 101 Bass Lessons. This is lesson number 2. And the last time we were together, we were just learning how to hold the bass and position our fingers and things like in our hand over here, plucking and things like that. And so today I want to get you started playing the notes on the fretboard. So here's the thing. In this lesson, we're only going to go up to the 5th fret. And there's a reason for that, which I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Also, if you have not ever studied music and you don't really know what notes are out there, you may want to jump on to my playlist of the general music lessons. In the first general music lesson, there's an explanation of the notes that exist in music. My teaching style is very much one that starts from the absolute basic and goes up from there, because I know you have to have a solid foundation to build on. So, it's like sometimes people try to teach me something and they assume that I know something foundational, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what that is. You got to tell me what that is before you can tell me how this fits with that. So if you don't really know notes, go check out General Music Lesson 1. Find out what notes are there. I will give a brief explanation in this video, but let's jump into it. So this first string right here, we call it the low string. Some people call it the high string because it's high up, but it's typically referred to as the low string by the way it sounds. So this is this one down here is the E. All right, so that very low sounding one is the E. Okay, now if I go 1 fret up, okay, right here, that is going to be an F. Now remember, in music, between the notes that exist, just a brief run through, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it starts over, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you're on a piano, it's A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, all the way up. And there are some notes in between, and we call those notes flats or sharps. And so if you've seen the general music lesson, you'll know that there are 2 sets that don't have an in-between note. There's nothing in between an E and an F, and there's no note in between a B and a C. Okay, so this is an E, and if I go 1 fret up, 1 note up, that's an F. Okay, now let's skip for a second and go up to the 3rd fret. Okay, now that is, if you can go in alphabetical order, F, what's after F? Of course, it's G. So this is a G. Okay, now if I go up to the 5th fret here, again, I'm going to skip the 4th fret right now. That's an A. So we've got E, open. Open means no fingers. 1st fret is F. 3rd fret, we're going to skip 2nd, is a G. And then up here on the 5th fret, A. All right, now let's talk about these in-between frets that I didn't mention just a second ago. So here's an F, and here's a G. Now, in between notes, we have what's called flats or sharps. So if I'm on an F, and somebody said go to an F sharp, well, think, you sharpen up. You got to sharpen up. Or what happens when something goes flat? It goes down, right? So if I'm on an F, this, if I go up 1, this could be an F sharp. Okay? Up from an F is an F sharp. So here's an F, here's an F sharp. Now, flats go down. So if I'm on a G and I want to go, and I go to a G flat, I'm going to go down 1 note, 1 fret, okay? So you might be saying, wait a minute, is the F sharp and the G flat, are those the same notes? Yes, they are. An F sharp and a G flat are the same note. Okay, because if I'm on G, I go G flat. If I'm on F, I go F sharp. You end up in the same place. So when would it be different? Like when would I call it an F sharp? When I'll call it a G flat? It depends on what key you're playing in. You'll get to keys later on, but it depends on what key you're in. So if you're playing in a key that has sharps, you're probably going to call it an F sharp. If you're playing in a key that has flats, then you're going to call it a G flat. Okay? So you'll get to that a little later. All right, so if we got E, F, F sharp or G flat, and G, and if I go up one more fret in between the G and the A, you're probably already figuring this out. This is a G sharp, because I'm on a G and I go up one to a sharp. Or if I'm on an A and I go down one, it's an A flat. So yeah, a G sharp and an A flat, they're the same note. All right, so one more time. E open, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, and A. Okay, now, a while ago I told you that we're only going to learn up to the 5th fret. Here's the reason why. When I get to the 5th fret, for example, this right here, this A that we just learned, A, this 5th fret note is the same note as the next string down or up, whatever, open. Okay? So here is an A, 5th fret on the string we just learned. The next string open is an A. So we're just kind of picking it up. Go up here and then start on the next one, go there, start on the next one, and go there and start on the next one. So every time we hit the 5th fret, we're the same note as the next string down. Okay? So E, F, G, A, and now here's A. All right. So if you're thinking alphabetical, what's up from an A? A B, obviously. So on the 2nd fret is going to be a B. Okay? Now, there is no flat or sharp typically in between a B or a C. So the very next note up from the B is going to be a C. So this is A open, B 2nd fret, C 3rd fret. All right, now what about this 1st fret right here? Well, if this is an A open and I go up one note, that's an A sharp, isn't it? If I'm on a B and I go down one, we can call it a, you're probably saying it with me, B flat. Okay, so yes, A sharp, B flat, they're the same note. Okay, now C, we got up to the C on the 3rd fret. What's the very next fret up going to be called? I'm on a C and I go up to here, a C sharp, okay? And then the 5th fret is going to be a D. All right, so if I go down one, that's a D flat, isn't it? So C sharp and D flat are the same note. They are the same note, okay? So now I've gotten to the 5th fret with a D. All right, so the next string down, or up in sound, okay? Next string down is going to be a D open. So I'm on a D, got to the 5th fret, it's the same as the next. All right, now I'm on a D, go to the 2nd fret right here. Now I'm on an E again, okay? And this note in between is either a D sharp or it's an E flat. Okay, so D sharp and E flat are the same note. Okay, and it's 1st fret, E. And we know there's nothing in between, no flats or sharps in between an E or an F, as we said a minute ago down here. So 3rd fret is going to be an F. Okay, and then we go up one note. Again, we're on an F sharp or a G flat, and then the 5th fret is going to be a G. Okay, that's a G. And so now, same thing we did a while ago. Go down to the next string, the last one on a standard 4-string bass, and we'll get to 5 strings soon, I promise. The next string up is going to be a G open. Okay, so 2nd fret is an A, go up one note to the 3rd fret, that's either an A sharp or a B flat, as we talked about a while ago. 4th fret is a B, and then, since there is no flat or sharp between a B and a C, 5th fret is a C. All right, and that takes us all the way, all four standard strings on a standard 4-string bass guitar, all the way up to the 5th fret. And honestly, guys, that gets you everything you need to really start playing. Okay, now a couple things I want to show you before we end the lesson. When I was telling you a minute ago that this note right here on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, was an E. Okay, what was the first note we talked about a while ago? Down here, open, was an E. So I want you to make a correlation because you can use this later on with some really cool riffs. I want you to make the correlation that on the bass guitar, if I play a note, I can find that same note higher sounding if I go 2 strings down and 2 frets up. Okay, 2 strings down, 2 frets up, 2 down, 2 up. So if I'm on an open E right here and I go 2 strings down, okay, I go 2 strings down and then 2 frets up, I'm back on an E. If I'm on an A right here, open, I go 2 strings down and 2 frets up. A, A. If I'm on a G and I go 2 strings down, 2 frets up, I end up right there. There's a G and a G. Here's a C and a C. Here's a D and a D. Now that makes a pretty cool correlation later on because you can start, the general idea of playing bass is that you're playing whatever the band is playing, the chord they're playing. Typically, not always, but the standard rule of thumb is that you are playing the note that they are of the chord they're playing. So if they're playing an A chord, you're playing an A note, providing that foundational, nice, really cool bass foundation sound. If the band's playing a D chord, typically you're playing a D note. All right, that's the starting point. Beyond that, you start learning how to do riffs and walk in, up and down, scales, runs, really cool licks. Those things come in time. But learning the octave rule, 2 down and 2 up, that really helps you start learning some really cool riffs later on. All right? Well, guys, hey, listen, that gets you the notes all the way up to the 5th fret. And I know that's going to give you a really good start. So try to get those down. Start just working on naming the notes. So if you got your bass, just pick any note and go, all right, what is that? All right, that's a C, right? All right, what is this? That's an F. Okay. So practice naming all the notes on all 4 strings all the way up to the 5th fret. And again, if you're playing a 5-string, that's cool. I'm going to bring a 5-string in a future lesson and show you how that works. They are super cool, and they can hit some really awesome notes, low Bs, low Cs, things like that. So they can be a really nice addition. But we'll get to those in a future lesson. That's it for this lesson of Everything 101. And hey, I wish for you and all your family and friends peace and blessings. And I'll see you on the next lesson. See you soon.